Lanyan, Impact of AI in New World, Impact of AI in New World, Victor Lanyan.
Okay. Good day, fellow Toastmasters. I'm here to speak on the impact of AI in today's world. Basically, there's a popular quotation by Dr. Lee, a venture capitalist. He says that without artificial intelligence, we're going to have a better future. And that the only thing that has changed mankind is probably electricity. So I'd like to start with the definition of what AI is. Basically, AI has to do with machine learning, whereby human intelligence is being programmed into machines so that we can use them productively. And there are basically 4 types of artificial intelligence, starting with the reactive memory artificial intelligence. Secondly, we have the long memory artificial intelligence. We have that of the self-awareness. And lastly, we have the, can't remember that. Well, basically, the first one, the reactive artificial intelligence, has to do with the inputs so that it will affect what we get as the output. Starting, an example of this is the Deep Blue computer for chess playing. For the long memory artificial intelligence, here we are interested in creating things that make our life better. For example, the autonomous cars. There are several ways the system of artificial intelligence has improved the way we live. For example, most of us have smartphones that we use. Embedded in those smartphones is a personal assistant known as Siri. Imagine what the world would have been without Siri on our smartphones. Also, another example of the use of artificial intelligence is in the robots that we use for manufacturing gadgets, cars in several industries all over the world, and also in organizations like Amazon for their warehousing processes. Another function whereby we use the artificial intelligence has to do with medical diagnosis of diseases. It has improved the precision of those diagnoses, for example, the diagnosis of cancer in human beings. Another area we use artificial intelligence is in the study of weather. It has improved the study of the weather patterns all over the world, and this has improved how we prepare for such occurrences as tornadoes and storms. Basically, artificial intelligence has certain benefits, one of which is it has resulted in a lot of cost reductions for companies and individuals. Another thing is that it has improved and transformed the society that we live in nowadays. Imagine a world without artificial intelligence. Also, artificial intelligence has helped in the fighting of crime all over the world in terms of fighting crime and also identifying likely areas of crimes. So this has better enhanced the process of policing the globe. And lastly, artificial intelligence has also improved how financial data is analyzed. Complex financial data using artificial intelligence can be reviewed quickly. And also, for some transactions in finance that are likely to be fraudulent, using artificial intelligence, you can use it to predict what those transactions may be before they occur. So this has also improved the efficiency of the financial process. Basically, artificial intelligence has helped in the precisions of what we do as human beings. It has also enhanced our ability to cut off repetitive and boring tasks and focus on more strategic things. But it also has some certain negatives, one of which is that it has compromised individual freedom. Secondly, it has resulted in loss of jobs in certain industries. But in total, I'll say that artificial intelligence has really enhanced the productivity of the world and also the planet and also the productivity of the planet as a whole. It has contributed to the story of sustainability. How well are we preparing to deal with climate change and other things? So thank you for the opportunity for this.
Thank you, Victor. Let's give 1 minute for Victor to give Victor feedback on his speech, evaluation speech. Timer, 1 minute, please, on the clock.
Mm-hmm. 1 minute up.
Thank you. Let's now move on to introduce the second speaker for the day. The second speaker for the day is also working on leadership development pathways. He's working on level one, project one, an icebreaker. I want to introduce Leon Verdes, icebreaker, Leon Verdes.
Life is a journey of crossroads. The decisions you make decides your destination. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear friends, my icebreaker speech will focus on the pre-crossroads of my life, the decisions I made during those crossroads, and how it has impacted the destination I am today. I was born in a very small state, Goa, in India, with humble beginnings. My dad was working for a tire company, and my mother was a math teacher. My early fascination for numbers goes all credit to my mother, who was incarnating the mathematics in me, and that's what fascinated me for numbers. My life went to the first crossroad when I had to make a decision about my career choice. And that's the time I stumbled on an accounting book, and this accounting book was written by Professor Kisnadwala. Now, this author, in addition to his name on the book, had his different qualifications there. You had CA, you had ICWA, you had MBA, SEMA, and so on, right? And somewhere deep within, when I seen this cover page, something within me had an inner voice which said, I should aspire to be a chartered accountant. And that's what motivated me to start the journey of being a chartered accountant. The journey was not easy. It was a tough course. Family, friends doubted my ability. But I remained focused, fighting and trying to accomplish. And after 4 years of intense study, coaching, training, I finally accomplished to become a chartered accountant. After completing my articleship with Deloitte, I went on to join Ernst& Young in their audit, advisory, and M&A services. But my dream really came in live when, during my stints with Ernst& Young, I was given the opportunity to present at the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society on accounting standards, and to my surprise, I had the Sir Professor Kisnadwala sharing the dais with me, and I was presenting accounting standards just beside him. And my dream had come true. I had thought and aspired to be a chartered accountant, and today I was in front of my mentor, presenting the same accounting standards with him. It was such an accomplishment. I could see the choice I made on the day when I decided to be a chartered accountant accomplished. My first crossroad mission accomplished. Few years ahead, as I went through, another crossroad came into my life, and this time it was after I had finished working with Ernst& Young and went on to join British Petroleum for a couple of years as their head of financial reporting. When I was working there, I received a call from the global CFO of Schreiber Foods to join in their Schreiber Foods business in India. And some context here. So Schreiber was one of our audit clients when I was working with Ernst& Young. And when I went to this facility of Schreiber, it's a dairy company. So in addition to the different products they make, which were very, very interesting, and I was very fascinated with them, one of the things which really, really connected very well with me is that the impact this company creates to the community. There are thousands and hundred thousands of dairy farmers supplying milk to this company every day. And this business is not only providing food and products, but is also creating an impact on the community and the society. And that is what always inspired me. So now, when I was on the crossroad of making a decision of whether to leave a large giant company like British Petroleum and join Schreiber, something within me said that the overall purpose of the company really resonates with the purpose which I live. And that's when I made the decision of moving from British Petroleum to Schreiber Foods. And the passion of every day creating the impact over the last 8 years since I've been working for Schreiber Foods. Every day I have this in my mind that I'm not only making food products, but I'm connecting and creating a larger impact to the community. And that's the passion I live by every day, and that's what drives me every day to be going to work. And that was my second crossroad, which was getting my profession linked with my passion. And that's what drives me. So, mission two, crossroad two, mission accomplished. Now, I fast forward, I move on to the third crossover in my life, where in the year 2021, I received an offer from Schreiber Foods to move from India to move to Spain. And now I had to make this decision where in India I knew the market, I knew the people there, I knew the network, and coming to a new market, new people, new culture was again a dilemma which I was with. But again, I took the plunge that this will get me learning more, trying and connecting with new people, new culture, and that's where I took the plunge from moving from Mumbai as an expat. I am right now in Spain, and today the third crossover which I am on is where I am. It's not complete; it's work in progress, and that's where right now I don't know what the results of this move will be, but I know for one thing for sure, I will give my best. Every day I know I'm doing my best for the larger cause of the community, and that drives me to be at work and linked with my passion. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Liam, for sharing the crossroad of your life. Timer, can you put a minute on the clock so we can give Toastmaster Leon an evaluation on his speech? Before we start the third speaker, I don't see Taswir here. Who can volunteer to evaluate Huma? A very good speaker. Come on, they gotta be a volunteer. Prahal, can you
Yeah, I
volunteer?
can do that. Yeah,
Thank you. It'll be a privilege to provide a feedback for Huma.
sure.
Thank you, Prahal.
Time up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harry. Let's now move on to the final speaker of the day. Our final speaker is working on the leadership development pathways, level 2, project 2. Want to introduce our third speaker for today, Huma Pasha, understanding vocal variety. Understanding vocal variety, Huma Pasha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Will, for the introduction. And I'd like to thank all of you all who are present here to guide me and evaluate me so that I can actually improve. Today, I'm going to talk to you about negotiation skills and my experience with negotiation skills. And basically, there are 3 areas that I'm going to talk about: how to negotiate from toddlers to businessmen to terrorists. And it's an amazing experience that I learned. 2 of them were simulations, but I'll share with you so that when you have to do it in real life, you can do it. And in fact, this simulation that took place like 15 years ago, and it has stuck in my mind until today. I use everything I learned. So the first one was with the toddler. My 2-year-old learned the word kyun. Kyun in Urdu is an Urdu word, and in English it means why. And when he learned why, everything became why. And I had to discover that I had to negotiate with him with this little word why. But I also learned the importance of the word why. And with that, I'll take you to my business experiences where I actually attended a training program on negotiations. I was working for a very large group of companies in Pakistan, and they had several groups. And what happened was that they'd arranged for a training program. All the chief executives of all the group companies, plus the CEOs, plus the CFOs, were all required to attend this training program. It was being carried out by a very good trainer. In fact, he was one of the trainers that also has been teaching negotiation skills at Google. So here we were, 52 odd people in a training session, very top executives of the company. What they did was they broke us up into groups of 5s or 6s, and we had to not know the identity of the other group that we were negotiating with. So every group was a secret group, and we were given the task of negotiations. Our negotiations was that we had to ensure that we and our group collectively scored the highest. My group was made up of 5 people, 2 women, and 3 men. All the 3 men were director of finance or CFOs. So we had the best combination. Of course, when the negotiations began, what do you think happened? The CFOs or director of finance, as we call them, walked in and we got the best deal possible. We scored the highest. We were so pleased with ourselves. We laughed. Oh my God, we have got such simpletons sitting on the other side. We are always going to win. But the second round stunned us. It really did stun us. We were the worst. They had performed much better than us, but we were really down in the dumps. Before the third round, I said, guys, hey, these are not at all simpletons, but we need to answer the question why. Why? Question that my toddler had taught me. Why had they allowed us to win? Why had they allowed us to win? And then we came up with 3 reasons. They wanted to build trust. They wanted us to collaborate with them. And they wanted us an understanding with us. So we decided the only way we could win was allowing them to win as well. So all our negotiations henceforth were a win-win situation. And collectively, our 2 teams scored the highest. Then the curtains were lifted and we saw who we were negotiating against. And to our surprise, do you know who the people were on the other side? The chairman of the group sat there, and next to him, the top 3 CEOs of our group companies sat there. So definitely they were not simpletons as we had first thought they were. That taught us a lesson. Never, never underestimate the party you're negotiating with. Learn to respect the party. Have a collaboration event. And in my real life, I have always ensured that these three areas are always fulfilled. And my negotiation skills have been helped because account of this wonderful experience that I had in a simulation class. The second was a simulation. What happened was that the chairman was petrified and very afraid that a family member would be kidnapped. What was happening in Pakistan was that they were insisting that they would only negotiate with the women. So he was having this very confidential training session for the women of his group, which was going to be hard to negotiate with the terrorist. But the chairman's wife, who actually had a very, very bad experience in her very early age, her father, she came from a rich family, and her father had been kidnapped. So she requested, she needed one outsider and she wanted a professional woman. So I opted to come and be part of the family group. It was an amazing experience. We were coached, we were told what to say, and we were given one special instruction. The instruction was, no matter what happened, we were never, never going to allow to give cash. The reason being is that with cash, you can buy guns. With cash, you can create all sorts of terrorist activities. So with that, we walked into our negotiation skills. The phone rang, the simulation phone, the chairman's wife picked up. And of course, all the training that we had given her and the coaching we given her, she went through the things, but nothing happened. Out of sheer desperation, she got off script and she went and said, please, please, started pleading for her son's life, started saying, let him go. But the voice said, no way, 10 million rupees or you get the thumb of your son. As she pleaded more, he suddenly turned around and said, why should I care for your son? Do you care for our wives and our children? We have no food, we have no medicine. That taught us something. We had to, they were not really after money, they were after food and medicine. From then, negotiation became very easy. We gave them exactly food and money. And so we won the project. But it did teach us something. Listen to what your opponents want. Hear them. Be very attentive. And learn to respect them. After all, they were human too. So with these two experiences, I learned a lot, which has helped me in my life. But I did actual negotiations deals with some of the very toughest clients. And we did manage to get through. So thank you very much for listening. And I hope you enjoyed my little small talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Huma. Great presentation on negotiation. Let's put 1 minute on the clock to give Toastmaster Huma an evaluation on her speech.
Sure. One minute.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harry. In every business model, disruption is always needed in order to change or evolve that business model. I want to invite Toastmaster Harry today to talk about the different model for disruption of business model. Welcome, Toastmaster Harry.
Thank you, Will. I'm going to screen share before I talk. I'm starting my timer for 4 minutes. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. Today's theme for the table topic is disruptive business models. Most of us are from financial services or from a technology firm or from a manufacturing firm closely working with financial team and our organization. In any business, how do we earn money? How do we reduce cost? How do we attract more customers? Organizations follow business models. What are the different business models? Freemium, subscription, free offerings, marketplace, sharing economy, user experience, pyramid, ecosystem, and on demand. These are the 9 disruptive business models if an organization wants to enter a market and become a leader in that market. If an organization has a low cost marginal product, they can offer it as free to an extent that it is not entirely satisfying the customer, but they are adding few more services to satisfy the customer. That is freemium model. Subscription model. If the customer is hooked to the organization's products for a long term by splitting the offer in a service monthly recurring payment, that's subscription model. Example, Netflix. Free offering. Google and Facebook provide us with a lot of storage for our emails and other Google Drives. But guess what? They make revenue based on other factors like advertising. So free offering for customers, but the other side of revenue generating is coming from other service providers. Marketplace model. In a marketplace, there is a buy side and there's a sell side. You can make either one of them revenue generating or both of them revenue generating. For example, Amazon partner, eBay, where both the customers are able to place their products and the service providers are able to generate revenue from the marketing products. So it's a marketplace model. Sharing economy, Uber is an example where the customers rent a space for a brief period of time, yet they don't own it, and you make profit out of that sharing economy. That is access over ownership. Then user experience premium. Apple, Tesla, they also provide cars, they also provide mobile phones, but there's a niche on how their user experience is compared to their competitive products, and based on that, they put a premium on their price. Pyramid model, for example, Dropbox, Amazon affiliate. The organization is using partnership with another organization to build a premium on their price by giving more offerings, a complementary offerings by partnering with another firm. That's pyramid model. Ecosystem. If you are not just selling one product, if you're selling a suite of products, iPad, iPhone, a ecosystem based on iOS platform, that's an ecosystem. And then last but not the least, on-demand model, cloud computing, Uber. When you use the service only for the time that you use it for, that becomes a premium access over time and resource for the customer needs. Ladies and gentlemen, 9 disruptive business model. If you are focusing on selling a product, if your organization is focusing on selling services and products, in each and every organization activity that we are involved, that our team members are involved, that our stakeholders are involved, make sure you're able to help them learn these 9 business model in a direct or an indirect way and teach them. When you teach them, you become a mentor, you become a leader. Back to you, Will.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harry, for sharing the 9 disruptive business model. We're moving on to our second part of our program, the table topic. The table topic theme for today is disruptive business model. I have a couple of quotes here that I would share with you, and you could provide an impromptu speech, a 2 minutes impromptu speech. You'll 1 minute and a half, you'll get the green card. Uh, I think 1 minute is green, 1 minute and a half is yellow, and 2 minutes is red once you reach 2 minutes. So any volunteer for the first one?
I volunteer.
Uma?
Okay.
Uma. The first quote is, a business model describe how your company creates, delivers, and capture value, by Steve Blank. Again, a business model describe how your company creates, deliver, and captures value, by Steve Blanks.
It's a very good quote, but it reminds me that as a disruptive model, all the companies that have done well were willing to disrupt their original business model. Take Amazon. Amazon used to be selling books. And what did they do? They came up with ebooks. So that was a very, very disruptive model. And the people who have lost out are the people who do not willing to take the chances. The classic example is Kodak. They had the digital camera, but they never capitalized on it. And so they went under. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Huma. Can I have another volunteer, please?
Prahal.
Prahal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prahal. Toastmaster Prahal. Your quote is, every single industry is going through a major business model and technology-oriented disruption, by Aaron Levy. Again, every single industry is going through a major business model and technology-oriented disruption, by Aaron Levy.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Every business model go through the constant disruptive model, right? So the fact here is, when the business or the company realize that they are under this disruptive threat, right? They always there, but the CEO or company, they are not realizing because they are doing well with the current business, right? That's what create them that a fake or illusion environment that they never been out of business or never been taken out from these disruptive forces, right? There are many examples we can started going. One is like Oma mentioned, which is Kodak. When Sony come up with the digital camera, Kodak was still building $2 billion film factory. They are thinking that the film going to be ruling the world for next decade. Within a year, a digital camera took over their entire business. Same way, Blockbuster. When Netflix and other people coming, they were still sending the video cassettes. Within years, the digital and subscription models taking over the Blockbuster business. We can keep on going with this. The fact here is the companies has to realize there is always a threat. There is always a destruction force coming on the way. They have to realize every day they have to prepare what is our next destructive force which is going to take over our business. That is, I think this the CEOs and the people who is thinking and looking their vision long term, they always every day think about who is the one who going to take over my business next. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prahal. Can I have another volunteer, please?
Can I try?
Prabhakar, Toastmaster
Yes.
Prabhakar. Here's your quote. There's not a single business model and there's not a single type of electronic content. There are really a lot of opportunity and a lot of option, and we just have to discover all of them, by Tim O'Leary. Again, there's not a single business model, and it's not a single type of electronic content. There are really a lot of opportunities and a lot of option, and we just have to discover all of them, by Tim O'Reilly.
Dear Toastmasters, good morning. thank you for this opportunity. Hari has talked about various disruptive models. So we have come to know that how there are in various ways our business is disrupted. We can see, for example, the recent corona has affected us. Same way, the recent again, the Ukraine and Russia war also affected us. So there will be like disruptions every day, or every month, or every year. And now coming to this question, particular question, there are every day there will be some developments, especially in electronics and computers. We are seeing every day we have some new model coming in mobiles. In the same way, we can. One thing I can see is the electrical vehicles that can really change the landscape of automobile industry. In fact, there is a story that New York in the earlier 1900s or something like that, it was full of horses. Within 15 years, everything was replaced by cars. The same way, now we have all these petrol and diesel vehicles. I think maybe another 10 years, we may see all electrical vehicles. So the businesses have a lesson to learn here. They have to be update themselves about the technology changes which are happening, and equip themselves and just see their strategies and keep on changing their or modifying their strategies to suit the marketplace, so that these disruptions does not affect their businesses. Back to Toastmaster, table topic master. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prabhakar. Do we have one final volunteer?
I can do it.
Leon, Toastmaster Leon. A startup is a temporary organization designed to search for a repeatable and scalable business model by Steve Blank. A startup is a temporary organization designed to search for a repeatable and scalable business model by Steve Blanks.
Okay, thank you, Table Topic Master. So definitely I agree with this statement that a startup is a model for disruption. And if you look around, most of the companies which have disrupted started as small startups. Like you look at Apple, you look at Google, all of them started their small garages and then moved on to make big disruptions across the world. And that's what we are seeing today. Many companies, venture capital funds, angel investors investing into different disruptive technologies. There are new instruments coming in. Now we are talking about the completely virtual world, and startups is, I think, a very good tool for coming up with an idea, trying and testing it, and then scaling it up at a much larger pace. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Leon. Now we're going to move on to the third segment of our program. I want to invite Toastmaster Sabine to do the evaluation section. Sabine.
Sabine seems to be on mute. So on behalf of Sabine, we would now welcome our evaluators to give their feedback. First, I would like to ask Mohammad Mushtaq as a ARM counter and grammarian report to give his report. Mushtaq.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you, fellow Toastmaster, for giving me this opportunity to count ARM and also comment on grammars. First speaker was Victor. An amazing speech. Hardly I can find any grammar mistakes. However, 4 times and I think 1 time I have counted. Second speech was Leon. An amazing speech. Hardly I could find any counter. And also similarly, there was no such noting on grammar. Another amazing speech by Huma. I believe there was 1 time but there was no as such in this speech. So as far as grammar is concerned, again, I think there was nothing which I could note. And table topic, there were, I think, 4 speakers. Yes, Huma, Prawl, Prabhakar, and Lian. Huma, in your speech, I couldn't find any. Prawl, I believe there were 5 times and there were repetitive words, right, 4 times. Sorry, I forgot to mention, in Victor's speech, there were 3 times another area that was repetitive words. And at last, Prabhakar, I think 5 times and no as such grammar mistakes I have noted, or a grammar, you can say, point which can be mentioned over here. But overall, an amazing session. Thank you very much for providing me this opportunity, fellow Taskmasters. An amazing session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mushtaq, for quickly jumping in and taking on the additional roles, and appreciate your effort on this. As a timer report, I'd chatted on the message. Victor Lanyon spoke for 4 minutes and 15 seconds within the time. Leon Verdes spoke for 7 minutes and 46 seconds. The maximum time is 7 minutes. Huma Pasha spoke for 6 minutes and 50 seconds. So she is well within the 7 minutes limit. On the table topics, Huma Pasha spoke for 39 seconds. You could have spoken at least for a minute to 2 minutes. Prahel spoke for 1 minute 58 seconds within 2 minutes limit. Prabhakar spoke for 1 minute 51 seconds within the limit. And Leon spoke for 59 seconds, just around about 1 minute. Well done, everyone. Thank you. The next one is about evaluation segment for the first speaker, Victor Lanyon. I am the evaluator for Victor Lanyon. So I'm going to share his report. What he excelled at. Victor, first of all, congratulations on progressing on your pathway and getting your another speech accomplished, preparing for the speech, taking the time to prepare for the speech, coming up with a well-researched content, coming up with supplement materials shows that how meticulous, how detailed you are in your preparation, and that shows your organization skills. Well done. You had a technical snag, but you quickly recovered and you started off your speech. You started off with a quote, which was very refreshing, great, and inspiring. Content, you had very good factors on how AI impacts everyone's life. You talked about financial data, you talked about crime, you talked about weather, and you talked about healthcare. And then you summarize it very well on how AI could impact in future, and you gave a very good conclusion. So your organization of your speech was very good. What you may want to work on, you delivered a quote, but we could not get the quote in a punch. The quote has to be said in a punch, and then you can say your inputs on that particular quote. But the quote has to be given as it is by whoever has given that quote for. Number 2, you had a technical snag, you recovered. You may want to join 10 minutes earlier and check out if you're going to have a presentation material to share with the audience and make sure there are no technical snags. If you may want to reach out to the anchor of the meeting or Toastmaster of the meeting to give you 10-15 minutes ability to join earlier and get these things sorted. You gave a great speech, but it was more paced. So sometimes we were struggling to get your content. So you may want to slow down, give pause during your speech to get the message across. So to challenge yourself in your further future speeches, slow down in your delivery and add vocal pitch and variety. Overall, another step ahead in your pathway progress, and you are on your way not only to progress in your pathways but also to represent the club, get the DCP credit by completing your level 2. Congratulations, keep it going. Next, I would like to welcome Will to share feedback for Leon Verdes. Will?
Thank you, Toastmaster Harry. Toastmaster Leon, thank you for providing a very good icebreaker speech. It gives us an insight on your crossroad of your life. You point out three important crossroads of your life when you first started getting the idea of becoming a chartered accountant. The second crossroad of your life when you were able to connect the purpose to the work that you're doing. And finally, the last crossroad of your life is when you move to Spain and start working in Spain. What I like about your speech was the storytelling format. It's you provide an insight into your journey by accounting the more important events, and you highlight those important events that keep your audience engaged in your story. And that's really what I really like about it. I also like that you have your camera on and we could see you, so I could actually look at your facial reaction and things like that. And the last but not the least, I like that even though this is your first speech, it sounds like you practiced a lot and didn't really come across as a first speech. So great job on that one. What I think you could improve on, since you turn your camera on, I want to see more of hand gesture. There are several opportunities where you could actually have used hand gesture to emphasize your point. The second point that I think you could improve on is vocal variety. Your speech, there's certain part of your speech where you could emphasize excitement when you finally met the author of the book that you actually inspire you. You could have emphasized that with an excitement in your voice, but at that point it was the same tone of voice that you use. In the future, take an opportunity to highlight and emphasize those key opportunity of highlighting those. And last but not the least, I think a couple of times, I think you were not aware of it. You were touching your nose. I think when we're speaking and providing speech, I think we need to try our best not to touch our face and our nose. And I think that's probably one of the few things that I think I could see. Overall, your speech is good, very strong. Keep up the good work, and really proud of having you in this particular club. Thank you,
Thank you.
Toastmaster Leon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Will, for wonderful feedback. Next, I would like to welcome Prahel as the evaluator for our speaker, Huma Pasha. Prahel, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Hari. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. And what a great speech. It's always Huma starting with her inspirational speech. I happen to listen few of her previous speeches. This always motivating me in many areas. The negotiation skill, right? That is negotiation skill for me. It's a tip of the iceberg. So many of your internal personality, which is reflecting on your negotiation skill, how confident you are, how clear what you want you are, how much willing to give up yourself. These are the skill underneath which reflect on your negotiation skill is always right. So I can see all the things on your speech. You started your speech with the three clear areas with connected with your personal experience, right? So three areas: how you handle toddler negotiation, how you handle the business area, how you handle finally the terrorists with your negotiation skill. This gives audience the clear path, how you're going to take over the speech in three different areas, right? That you started with the speech with a clear vision. That is very good. Then you went through with your experience with all these three areas, how you applied your negotiation skill. That is very clear message. And also you carry over that clear message, how you get into the win-win situation using the collaboration word, right? It's not it's not by forcing, or it's not by other techniques. You collaborated how you achieve your goal. That is really good message. I can extract that as the core of this negotiation skill. And you end up with your speech with the three takeaways. One is you listen people when you are negotiating, and you hear what they are saying, and you treat them with respect. These are the three character or personalities will give you a good result of this negotiation. So overall, so you have a vision, you have a body of the speech, and you gave the summary how to achieve it. So it's very good speech, yet another milestone for your speech, Huma. Thank you so much. I don't have much to give as a gift for you. It's overall very good speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tamal. Very detailed and very organized feedback, and I hope, Huma, you learned a lot from his evaluation. Thank you. And thank you for your wonderful speech today. With that, I would like to see if Sabine is available to give a general feedback on the meeting. Sabine?
Yeah, thank you so much, Harry. I'm really delighted to have the meeting now. So I just give a feedback. The overall meeting for today was very good. When it comes to speeches, I really like the content of Leon's speech. And the only thing I think next time when he will give his speech, he must turn on the camera and the pacing of the speech. So where he can when you have to make an important point, you must stop so audience will can remember, right? That's the same thing I have a point for Victor as well. Like whenever you have an important thing, just think we all are humans, we cannot remember everything. So just stop a little bit so we can remember what you are talking about. But overall, the Leon's as a first time speaker, his speech was very good. And of course, for Homa's one, I really like it, the negotiation one, because it's a general topic from our general life. It was very good. And for the Victor, the topic was quite practical. I really like the whole the content and also the way he delivered. But the only thing I miss in the Victor's ones is like just think about as a human that if you just keep talking as a monotone, like a same tone, we won't feel engaging. So if you have a tone variation, if you don't like to stretch from the camera from one place to another, but just have a little variation in your speech so we can feel active and remember the things. Otherwise, I believe like it will be same. We are right. So I'm really thankful to all of you. And next time, actually, I ask everyone just give us the feedback that anything the members would like to have in the club, so we can have 1 week where we can have different activities other than the speeches, so it will feel more active club.
Thank you,
Anything
Sabine.
any of the member would like to have.
Thank you, Sabine. Much appreciated. And
Thank you so
thank you
much.
for thank you for asking for the feedback, and we truly appreciate that. So with that, we come to the conclusion of the meeting. I would like to ask Busola if she can just speak for a minute to give any officer updates. Busola? Okay, looks like she's still on mute. But on behalf of everyone, I want to thank all the members who have renewed their membership. Your membership renewal indicates that you have a trust on club leadership and club mentors and club officers to help you provide this platform. And it is helping you, and you look forward to get this platform benefit you for the next 6 months term. We take it seriously. We do a lot of preparation effort before the meeting to get everyone the right amount of time. And it's my pleasure to thank Will Lucan, who is our club mentor and sponsor, and he has been extremely dedicated to be available 10 minutes before everyone joined and prepared for the meeting. And he leads by example, and that's what I love, and I learn every time when I have Will on the meeting. And also, we have our MECA UAE president, Prabhakar, who has joined to give a cross-collaboration effort on diversity and perspective, and encourages that we are all one unified team, and we can learn from each other. And thank you very much. And we have a new member, Omalara, who has joined us for the first time. Mushtaq has joined us for the first time, and he has participated. He has joined many times, but he has taken on roles for the first time of being a grammarian and counter. Mushtaq, congratulations. Sabine, again, it's her first time of taking the role of general evaluator. So that's a great confidence from you, Sabine. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And as usual, all the speakers, Leon, Victor, Huma, you made this meeting counted. You helped by delivering the speech. You grew yourself, but by listening, you also helped us to evaluate you better and learn from your delivery styles a lot. So thank you very much. With that, have a wonderful day. If I just want to give a 1 minute for the floor, if anyone wants to add any words before we close today's meeting.
Harry, I just have a one request. We would like to have some our members back in the club. I spoke to some members, but they have a problem with the timing. So I would like to ask, like, if we can able to change the timing. Let's say if it is not 8 a.m. or it could be 9 a.m. Anybody has a problem of connectivity, right? So we can accommodate more people.
Thank you for bringing the feedback. We should probably take it in our officer meeting next time. So definitely we'll look into the feedback and discuss it. Thank you. Anyone else wants to give a closing remarks? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harry.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Thank